Hello everyone. Thanks for watching Edupedia World videos. I am Neeti Saxena and I'm taking the subject Principles and Practices of Management. This particular module would be covering staffing, and this video would be initially telling you the concept of staffing, and we would cover certain topics like meaning of staffing, manpower planning, personnel management, job analysis, recruitment, training and development, performance appraisal, transfer and promotion, and reward and recognition. These are the topics that we would be covering in module 5. When we talk about this video, we would be covering up meaning of staffing and planning. What is staffing? It is that phase of management which deals with the effective control and use of manpower as distinguished from other sources of power. Now, if I explain this to you, when we talk about the resources an organization has, the list is very long. An organization has machines, investment, raw material, human resource. When we talk about the human resource, then you need to control this manpower. Manpower is the human resource that you have. So this effective controlling of manpower of an organization is something which is called as staffing. It is also referred as personnel management and human resource management. These are two things, personnel management and human resource management, which collectively are called as, comes under staffing. So staffing is basically, in a layman's language, if I say, then staffing is basically getting the right person for the right job, placing them at the right place in the organization, and then monitoring their performance, giving them promotion or maybe demoting them if required. So staffing basically covers everything that is related to the human resource of the organization. When we talk about personnel management, it is the process of attracting, holding, and motivating people involving all managers, line, and staff. If you remember, we had talked about who are line managers and staff managers in our module 2. Line managers are the people who actually get work done from the subordinates, whereas staff managers are the people who make policies and who help the line managers to get the work done. So personnel management is basically, it is the process of attracting, holding, and motivating all type of people in the organization. It is the planning, organizing, directing, and controlling of the procurement, development, compensation, integration, maintenance, and separation of human resource to the end that individual, organizational, and societal objectives are accomplished. So personnel management basically covers everything from the very beginning, that is when the recruitment is done, when you attract people to your organization, when you select them, when you place them in the organization, when you train them, you do performance appraisal, you're giving a compensation, maybe if the employee is leaving or you want a transfer, promotion, everything is covered under the personnel management. Then comes, what is HR planning? When we were studying strategy, we said that planning and developing a strategy is very important. Similarly, when we talk about human resource, then the planning which is related to human resource is called as human resource planning. Now you say, what planning is required for human resource? There is when an organization is formed, the organization, the top management looks into it. What kind of people does the organization require? If let's say initially they require 10 people, maybe after 6 months they would again analyze, do we require 10 or do we require less or do we require more? This is called as manpower planning, wherein you think that in the future what kind of human resource would you be requiring. Just in case of, let's say, if I give you an example, maybe an organization is thinking about launching a new product in the coming year. They would look into it that for that particular product, do we have employees already in our organization who can be helpful in producing the product, or do we need to hire? Do we need to hire or can we train our own employees? So there are a lot of things which are related to manpower planning. Let me just read the bullet for you. Human resource planning or manpower planning is the process by which a management determines how an organization should move from its current manpower position to its desired manpower position. So this is what I explained to you, that just in case of today, the organization is running, it has 10 employees. Now the management would think, in the future, do we need 10 employees or do we need more? Do we need some specified trained employees or can we train our own employees? Maybe if you have two branches, you would think which branch needs more employees, which branch needs more technical based employees, which branch needs more sales people. So this exactly entire thing is called as human resource planning. So it is the process which ensures that an organization has the right kind of people in the right number at the right places in the right point of time. So manpower planning is very, very important. Now you'll say, what is the difference between manpower planning and personnel management? Personnel management is the bigger thing in which you are looking into everything which is related to human resource of your organization. Whereas when we talk about manpower or human resource planning, you are just planning what kind of people you want, where, what number, and at what point of time. So, of course, it includes recruitment, selection, training and development, transfer and promotion, and compensation. It includes the estimation of how many people are necessary to carry out the assigned activities, how many people will be available, and ensures that personnel supply equals personnel demand. Very, very important. Personnel supply equals personnel demand. How many people you require is something that the management should be able to supply at that point of time. So the human resource department takes this responsibility that they look into the strategy of the organization, and along with the strategy they do a manpower planning that okay, this is the strategy of the organization, this is what the organization is going to do in the coming time. So according to that, they uh, kind of make a check or keep a check that how many employees we have, how many we require, how many trained employees we require, what kind of training is further required to be given to our employees, many more things. What is the importance? Future personnel needs, of course, as I said, that human resource planning looks into the future. In the future, how many people would we be requiring? What is our current position and what is the desired position? So it helps in fulfilling the future personnel needs. It is the foundation for other HR functions because when you do the human resource planning, you write down that what kind of training is required, how many people are required, do you need to promote somebody or not? So in case if you need to promote, you need to look into the performance appraisal. So it is the foundation of all other HR functions like training and development, compensation, performance appraisal, transfer and promotion, job rotation. All the things are based upon your human resource planning. It helps with coping with change. Why? Because you anticipate what is going to happen in future. In case of some certain change is required, you are ready for that particular change already. Creating highly talented manpower, saving cost and time. Why saving cost and time? Because, for example, all of a sudden, if you say that, today we are launching a new product. Now, you just do not know from where the salespeople would come, from where the marketing people would come. So, when you plan, when you do the HR planning, you know that, okay, maybe in the next month there is this launch happening. So, you already are prepared that you need these kind of employees who would be helping in the launching of the product. So, you save on the cost and time. Effective investment in HR. When we talk about compensation planning, compensation is giving perks and salary to the employees. Whatever the employees are doing for the organization, in return of that, the organization gives certain things to the employees, maybe monetary, non-monetary. That is called as compensation. So when you talk about compensation planning, that is also based upon the HR planning. How many people we have? Let's say if the organization is planning to have 10 people. Now the organization will think, will we be able to pay these 10 people? If yes, then what salary structure should the organization have? So all these things are based upon your HR planning. It is a part of strategic planning because nowadays HR is not called as just HR, like we say HRM, human resource management. Nowadays it is not called as human resource management. It is called as strategic human resource management because nowadays HR is not only HR, it is also related to the strategy of the organization. In earlier days when the strategy of the organization were formed, then that time only the finance, marketing people were involved, the strategy people were involved, but HR people were not involved. Nowadays, even the HR head is involved in the strategic planning. Why? Strategic planning of the organization because it's the HR head who would be able to tell that whether we will get certain such type of employees, whatever project the organization is taking, is it feasible or not? So, of course, your HR planning is a part of strategic planning and it helps in developing the global strategies also. Now, what is the need of HR planning? To identify areas of surplus or shortage. As I said, if you have 10 employees, you need to look into it. Do I have more employees? Can the work which 10 people are doing, can it be done by 8 people? If yes, you need to throw 2 people out of the organization and you save money. Just in case if there are 10 people and you think, no, they're not able to do everything, you need to hire more employees. So then you need to hire people. to replace the retirees, to tackle turnover. Turnover, basically, when we talk about in the HR terms, turnover is how many people are leaving your organization at a particular in the particular period of time. So this turnover rate should be less. More people should stay with the organization. The retention rate should be high and the turnover should be less. So HR planning helps you to tackle turnover. Just in case if you think that the turnover of the organization is high, number of people leaving the organization is high, then the HR looks into it. What are the reasons? Why are people leaving? So maybe then you can increase the compensation, or maybe you can give more incentives, or maybe you can look into training. Maybe you can retain employees by giving them more good training. So this is how HR planning can help in reducing the turnover to meet the needs of expansion programs. Now, this is a very interesting diagram. If we look into this, it is forces for manpower flow. That means, how does the manpower flow in an organization? When we talk about, let's look into recruits in. This is the phase from where people are coming in the organization. Okay, in an organization, how are people coming in? By recruitment and selection. So recruitment and selection leads to developing the manpower in the organization. Similarly, in an organization, when you're promoting promotions in, you are promoting people in, maybe you're transferring people into that particular department. So then your number of people increases in the organization. So when you say transfer in, promotion in, recruitment in, these are the three things through which you are increasing the number of people in that particular organization. Promotion out, maybe you are transferring that particular, you are promoting that person and transferring that person to some other department or other location of the organization. Transfer out, retirement, voluntary retirement, discharge, termination, dismissal, resignation, retrenchment or redundancy. These are the certain things through which you reduce the number of people in your organization. In this, the difference between retirement and voluntary retirement is retirement when you a particular age comes and then the person has to retire. Voluntary retirement is you are certain people that in case if you retire, we give you all those benefits which you would be getting at the time of retirement, but you retire. Maybe the person is only at the age of 50, but you ask the person to take a VRS, which is a voluntary retirement scheme. Discharge, dismissal, termination is basically when a person is not performing duties properly, then you ask the person to leave. You terminate the employee, you ask the employee that we do not need your services anymore. Resignation, when a person wants to leave the organization, the person resigns. Redundancy and retrenchment is basically when the organization doesn't have much of work, then the organization cannot keep employees because the organization doesn't have new projects, doesn't have work, doesn't have money to pay to the employees. So then the management decides to lay off employees, or the management asks people to leave the organization. So this is the forces of manpower flow. There are certain things through which you add on employees to the organization, and there are certain methods through which you ask the employees to leave, and that is how you maintain the balance in the organization. This is building for the future. Let's start the flowchart from the very beginning. Business vision and strategy. Of course, yes. First of all, what is required more for the HR people to understand is the business vision and strategy. What is the vision of the organization? Where does the organization want to go in the future? You understand that, you understand the strategy of the organization, you understand the technological change, you also understand the stakeholder expectation. Who are stakeholders? All those people who are directly or indirectly related or affected by the organization. Customer, shareholder, suppliers, distributors, everyone. External forces requiring restructuring. All those external environmental forces, when you talk about all those things which can affect the organization, all these are affect the capabilities need of the organization. For example, if there is a change in the technology, if there is a change in the technology, automatically you need certain people who understand that technology, right? So that is how the capability need of the organization changes, and keeping in mind the capability need, the manpower flow happens, and that is what is called as a continuity plan. I hope this diagram was understood. I'll repeat it once again. There are many forces because of which the capability requirement of the organization changes. The forces could be external forces, stakeholder expectation, business vision, strategy, technological change. Because of the capability need, if it is changing, of course, the manpower planning needs to be done again. And this is called as a continuity plan. Why? Because manpower planning is not just done once in the organization. It is a continuous process. Every now and then, after 6 months, 1 year, you need to plan again. Now, this is very, very important. When you talk about HR, what is HR doing? HR is kind of maintaining a balance between the organization needs and the individual needs. Where there is a fair balance between the individual needs and the organization needs, and both the needs are met, then the retention rate of the organization goes high. So, need of the organization is continuity and growth of human capital, performance, potential. Potential is that the employees in the organization should be such that in the future also they can uh, give in lot to the organization. Flexibility, commitment, retention, and innovation. These are certain things which the organization require. What are the individuals or the employees require? They require fair rewards, challenging work, good working environment, information, feedback, meeting career aspirations, and providing transferable skills. So, HR planning helps in maintaining a balance between the need of the organization and the need of the individual. Or we can say it helps in fulfilling the need of the organization and need of the individual. I'll give you some time to go through these bullet points. I'll repeat it again for you. Need of the organization is continuity and growth of human capital, performance of the employees, potential in the employees, flexibility with the employees. Flexibility is that in case of people today, maybe they are located at location A. In case if you want to transfer these employees to location B, they should be flexible for it. Commitment from the employees, retention rate should be high, innovation. The employees should be innovative. Need of the individuals or the employees, they want fair rewards, they want challenging work, they want good working environment, they want information about the organization and everything that is happening in the organization. They definitely want a feedback about their performance. They would want to meet career aspirations. In any organization which provide good training and good career development opportunities would be able to retain the employees for the longer period of time. Providing transferable skills. With this, we come to the end of this particular video wherein we have learned the basic concept of staffing, the basic concept of personnel management and human resource planning and why it is important. Thank you so much for watching this video. I would request you definitely watch the next part of module 5 because that would be covering many more things like recruitment and selection, training and development, job analysis, etc. Thank you so much.